if I can have your attention again here in the Infield Media Center, Carl Edwards has joined us for his availability. So, Carl, Dover International Speedway, the Monster Mile.
Yeah, I love Dover. We've had a lot of success here, and Darlington was one of our biggest struggles of the year. So we had a lot of meetings this week, and we trying to figure out how to make the car the very best we can coming here to to start practice, and I think we've got a pretty good car. We'll find out here in a minute, though. This track's just been very good for me and for Greg and for Matt. So hopefully we can have a good run.
Questions for Carl? Please raise your hand. State your name and affiliation. Come on, guys. Got to make him work. There you go. David and then Jeff.
I feel really far away from you guys.
Hey. David Caravelle, NASCAR.com. Hey, Carl, 6 races in with the spoiler. I mean, some people thought it was going to be kind of a game changer. Has anything changed in terms of how you drive the car, how you guys are setting up the car from before?
It's a little bit different, but not as much as we thought it would be. I was hoping there'd be less downforce, and it doesn't feel that way. So, it's hard to say that. It's just hard to point to one thing and say it's different. So we obviously haven't figured it out. It's not an aha moment for us, so we're trying to get a better handle on it.
Jeff
at racingtoday.com. Carl, I think one of the more amazing statistics of the season is that you've only led 2 laps in Sprint Cup. Is if you can get up front and lead laps, talk about momentum and what that would mean, and if you guys consider maybe taking 2 tires and no tires just to put you out front.
Yeah, that's a good question about the tires, but really it's not about momentum. It's about having our cars fast enough. I worked harder last week. We got done with the race at Darlington. I felt like I did a better job there than I have at most of the races I've won. I've worked harder and drove smarter, and as long as we keep doing that, as long as I keep doing that, as long as my pit crew is as good as they are, if we can just have our cars be a little faster, with the setups. It's not the engine. It's not the actual car. It's just the engineering all of it to work together. If we can get better there, then we'll lead laps and we'll win races. But so hard to explain to people that when it's easy, it's easy. When the car's good, it's simple, and when it's bad, it's a lot of work. So just that's what we've been working on. But it did feel good to run that well at Richmond. And I think if we run that well every week, we'll lead plenty of laps. But got to be able to do it at every racetrack.
Joe
Medzer, NASCAR.com. Carl, much has been made of Joe Gibbs Racing, possibly catching Hendrick. What do you think about that possibility, and where do you guys feel like you are in that foot race?
We're not in that foot race right now. I mean, we're trying to catch up and get a handle on this so that. If we run top 3 one week and then top 5 another week and then top 3 and top 5, that's what the Gibbs guys seem to be able to do. I mean, Denny had a really bad race at Richmond, but they seem to be very capable of competing week in and week out. We were like that in 2008. The amazing thing is that the Hendrick cars are able to do that every year, and people make runs at them, and I guess in a way for the Gibbs guys to go out there and put a little pressure on them, that's good for everybody. So, but I don't think we're not good enough right now to, every week to be in that race.
What else for Carl? Back to Jeff.
Yeah, Carl, I just wanted to ask you about the Daytona COT nationwide test next week, and you're looking forward to driving a Mustang?
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Those Mustangs look great. I think that's one of the neatest things that NASCAR has done for a while, is for us to run those cars, and that'll be cool. I'd love to be the first guy to win, in a Mustang in a NASCAR race. That'd be really neat.
Claire
Beelang, Sirius NASCAR Radio. What is it about you being, you're such a perfectionist, as many of the good drivers are, that you're not getting frustrated? Because I'm not seeing the frustration on the outside that maybe you're feeling on the inside.
Well, I am very frustrated. Everyone's frustrated, but I've always thought it's very important, especially within your team. If you're frustrated about something, then there's there's productive ways to use that frustration. But you won't see, Bob and my guys and me yelling at each other, throwing stuff out of frustration after the race. I mean, we try to be constructive with our energy, and but man, it is frustrating. I mean, it's I wish we weren't. I wish we were faster. We're just not. It's really, really tough. But the great thing is that we're working on every other aspect. The things that we know we can make better. We're working on all that so that hopefully we can. Once we figure out whatever we're missing, we'll be screaming fast.
What else for Carl? Anything else? Carl, I think you got off easy today.
Mike, you have a question, Mike?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
Mike Muller and MikeMuller.net. When you overlay your laps around a racetrack with any of the Hendrick cars or any of the Gibbs cars and just see where they are beating you physically,
right.
Where are they beating you physically on the racetrack?
Right now, there's I haven't seen an overlay of a race lap. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's a little frustrating to look at because certain laps can tell certain things. But really, right now, our cars, they're hard to drive. You go down the corner and I can't make the car do what I want it to do. And when I relay it to Bob, he's not able to change the car the way that I want it to be changed. And it just comes from the setups that we're running to maximize everything. It makes it very difficult. It's not as simple as just raising the track bar, lowering the track bar, or putting some wedge in. So it's tough. Darlington, I'd go down the corner and the car through one corner, the car would be loose, tight, then loose again, or tight, loose, all through the corner, depending on where in the corner I was, and it's just hard to do. Yeah.
And the Ganassi bunch.
Right.
Somebody turned the switch on like last August, and they found whatever it was
right.
that goes under the front of the car.
Right. And if you look at Jamie, for example, I was around Jamie a lot. Bob was Jamie's crew chief. And those guys, he's run great, and that shows you that a guy can go from a situation where he just didn't like the feel of the car to one where they've got it, to where Jamie likes it, and he's extremely fast. And on one hand, it's very frustrating for me. On the other, it gives me a big light at the end of the tunnel that if we can just make the thing drive well, then we can run that well too. I can.
Jeff has one last question for you.
Yes, sir.
Carl, Kyle said this morning that JD and Joe shot him down to run nationwide full time, so I guess he won't be in Nashville. Is that? Considering that both you guys in the top 4 in points in nationwide, right. Is that kind of a relief, or just what are your thoughts on?
No, it's not a relief. I've won, a drivers' championship in the nationwide series. So for me, I want those guys to run. Drew wants those guys to run so that we can compete with them. If we win the championship this year, I want to sit up there at that table and look out there, and I want to see guys like Kyle that are very, very good, and I want to know that we've been able to beat them. So it's a little bit frustrating that they aren't able to run it, but. That's just part of the business. They got to do what's best for them.
Anything else? Nope. Thanks, Carl.
Oh, and my face here, the scrape. I was riding my mountain bike and caught a tree branch. I was dodging a frisbee, but no, I wasn't really dodging a frisbee. But just because a lot of people have been asking about it, Annie wasn't that hungry. So, all right, thanks.